His eyes locked on mine, or at least on the shadow of me behind the visor. You'd really hit me with that? I tilted my head, revved the engine once as the growl tore louder through the alley, pressing my bare left foot down and the other on the pedal. Kelvin smirked, extended an arm, and spread his palm open. I won't do anything if you obey me. Just do as I ask, and no one has to get hurt. And keep in mind that after humiliating me at the merger party and filing for divorce, if you step outside this estate, you and your father lose the hotels, the empire, the name, everything to us, the Moreaus. He leaned closer, creeping forward step by step. Yeah, like I'd believe that for a second. Why would we lose everything to you? My voice came out muffled behind the visor, trembling with disbelief but carrying enough bite to make him stop pacing. All I did was shatter the merger between my father's company and yours. Kelvin chuckled, and the cold night wind teased strands of his dark hair as he tilted his head, slicing a crooked grin across his face. Oh, he drawled with gleaming eyes under the faint orange streetlight. No one told you, Bambolina. My stomach dropped, and I gritted my teeth. Told me what exactly, Kelvin? I leaned forward, gripping my fingers tighter around the throttle until my knuckles whitened. All you want is to keep me around as your quiet pet. Your shiny little possession to show off at parties, but I'm done being anyone's figurehead. My voice cracked for half a second, but I pushed through it. I have dreams, you know? Things I want to build. Things I want to accomplish. He stopped smiling. Then slowly he began again, wider this time, flashing his teeth as his voice dipped low. Didn't Solomon inform you that he signed the contract himself? I blinked. What contract? Kelvin took a deliberate step forward, tapping the steel rod against his palm, cutting each metallic click into the night. The terms of the merger. Your father signed the deal knowing that if you ever bailed out of this marriage, every asset he owned, he paused, letting his smirk twist crueler, would be handed over to us. My breath hitched, and the air felt thinner. My dad did that? Kelvin's tone softened mockingly. He did what was best for you, Bambolina. And really, I don't quite understand how that pretty little head of yours works. He stepped closer, stretching his shadow across the cobble. Why would you want to work hard and suffer for a mere dream, he murmured, when you can stay as my wife and live that dream instead? I snapped my head toward him. I don't believe a word you say, Kelvin. My voice rose over the roar of the engine. And I especially won't stay married to a man who flaunts his love for another mistress without giving his wife any sort of attention. I'm done tolerating you. He chuckled again, slowly. Come on now, Bambolina. He took another measured step closer. Let's talk this out, eh? My hands fumbled over the compartments of the belt, searching and searching as adrenaline twisted through me. I needed something, anything, to shatter his attention. What the hell is that on your waist? Kelvin's eyes narrowed as his voice cut sharper. Are you cosplaying right now? Funny, I muttered under my breath. My fingers finally closed around something. A cluster of small, smooth spheres, round enough to cup 7 in one hand. No clue what they were, but that didn't matter. Instinct took over. I pressed the button on one, feeling it vibrate faintly, then hurled the lot of them across the cobbled floor toward him. They clattered, rolled, then burst. One by one, sharp cracks detonated, each pop followed by a hiss. A chain of tiny explosions lit the ground, scattering sparks and vomiting thick smoke into the air. Within seconds, the area transformed into a choking haze, curling clouds of white swallowing Kelvin whole. He staggered back, cursing, slicing his rod uselessly in the fog. I didn't wait. I slammed on the gear and twisted hard, revving until the engine screamed, skidding the rear tire against the cobblestones. The bike lurched forward with a violent kick, scraping rubber, biting at the stone before sparks as I swerved past Kelvin's silhouette in the smoke. But just as I tore past him, crack! The steel rod slammed into the back of my helmet, causing a hard ringing through my ears. The impact rang through my skull, jarring my vision with a white hot flash. I grunted, jerking my body forward. Even with the helmet, the pain was brutal, causing a dizzying throb that rattled my brain in its cage. My hand slipped on the handlebars as the bike veered, wobbling out of control. The alley blurred, the lights streaked, my head swam, and my vision bent sideways. That was when I saw it. A parked car dead ahead, waiting to embrace me, and I couldn't steer away. Everything blurred. The world, my thoughts, even my own pulse felt out of sync, hammering too loud and too fast. And in that blur, I felt it. The cruel irony that everything I ever wanted suddenly seemed so far away. My desire to breathe free of chains, my dream of reviving my late mama's legacy, the one flame I swore would never die. All of it flickered in front of me as it was all about to slip through my fingers. Because right now, I was about to slam head on into a parked car. That would be the end of it. My grand escape plan cut short before it even found its wings. Funny, isn't it? How the brain works. How in the 1 second before impact, 100 thoughts fire through you. This is it. I'm done. His efforts were wasted, and everything you wanted, gone. But no, no, I can't let it end here. I won't. My eyelids fought to open, squinting one against the dizzy pain still rattling through my skull. My grip tightened on the throttle. With a grunt that tore through my chest, I yanked both handlebars and quickly slammed a palm and a foot down to force the bike back upright. Pain shot through me, but it was worth it. The tires screamed as I twisted the accelerator, causing the rubber to violently bite on the cobblestones. The bike roared, jerking sideways in a wild drift. My back tire clipped the bumper of the car, sending flaring sparks. My knee scraped asphalt, peeling off the fabric, and my skin raw, but I held steady. Barely. Breath tore out of me, my body shook, and my muscles screamed. That said, I hadn't actually accomplished anything. Not when the estate's massive black gates loomed ahead, having completely shut down the steel tight. And behind me? Boots pounded and suits in black were already storming after me. I ignored them, darting my eyes left and right. Think. Think. I shoved my bleeding hand into the belt's pockets, fumbling, ransacking, praying for something. An explosive, a charge, anything to blast through the gate. My fingers scraped plastic, metal, smooth edges I didn't recognize. And then, a low groan. The gate. The massive black slabs shuddered, then began to slowly slide open. I didn't waste time wondering who or why, because, well, whoever opened it had just saved my life or set me up for something worse. Either way, it was my only shot. I revved hard as blood continued to roam slick on the throttle and launched forward. The bike burst through the opening with a shriek of tires, spitting dust as I skidded onto the asphalt. The wide road opened my eyes and a wild, ragged, and shaky laugh bubbled out. Relief washed over me, but it didn't last, because the screech followed. Not mine, theirs. I risked a glance at the cracked side mirror, and I caught a glimpse of headlights swarming just behind me. One car, two. No, three. All black, all fast, and all speeding right at me, of course. Kelvin wasn't about to let me go that easily. Persistent bastard, I muttered, muffling my voice under the helmet. My hands tightened on the bars and my veins continued to pulse with adrenaline. Bambolina! The shout tore through the night so loud it made me flinch inside the helmet. My brows furrowed. What the... A glance at the other mirror gave me my answer. Kelvin, hanging halfway out of the passenger window of the lead car, gripping the roof with one hand and clenching a microphone using the other. His voice screeched through an external speaker. booming across the ever empty highway until it rang in my skull. I rolled my eyes so hard it almost hurt. Seriously, I hissed. What is this? A confession? Kelvin leaned out further as his hair continued to whip in the wind, with a twisted expression on his face. Honestly, if I didn't hate him so much, I'd almost think he loved me. Almost. Don't you want to know how your mother disappeared? Hey, Bambolina? His voice slithered out of the loudspeaker, and even over the roar of the bike and the rush of night wind, it crawled under my skin. I can tell you everything. His words were jagged, almost gleeful. I can even tell you things about your father you wouldn't believe. I can. I didn't let him finish. My fingers dove into the belt, finding the last 6-round canisters. With a flick and a press, they hissed awake in my palms as I hurled them back over my shoulder. Pop, pop. The little bombs cracked open, belching thick smoke across the asphalt. The headlights behind me became vague, predatory shapes, lost in a swirling gray cloud. I yanked the throttle hard, making the bike leap forward as the engine continued to scream really hard. But my vision blurred. His words had cut deep, making those hot and heavy tears sting my eyes inside the helmet. How can one be so cruel? I clenched my jaw and bit down on my lower lip until I tasted blood, forcing my trembling hands to tighten around the grips until they creaked as my fingers locked harder. And then, a soft crackle buzzed from inside my helmet, followed by his voice. Riya, Riya, are you there? The voice was softer, familiar. Mateo? My eyes flew wide. The world around me blurred in and out. Heavens, is that you? Where are you? A shaky laugh tumbled out of me, equal parts relief and disbelief. It's really you? My lips tugged into a smile under the visor. Where are you right now? I'm on my way to. Uh, my voice cracked with exhaustion. What was it again? I'm going to the place you asked me to meet you. Silence. Mateo? I blinked, forcing my eyes back to the road. Are you still there? I never asked you to meet me anywhere, Riya. I blinked again, and the world tilted a little. Sorry. Come again? My smirk faltered. That's a joke, right? My voice cracked. You said to meet you somewhere in Ampang City. I never asked you to meet me anywhere. If I did, I wouldn't be calling right now. My heart lurched. But you did arrange the gadgets, the bike, and the key. Didn't you? That was all me, yes. My breath stuttered, and I swallowed hard, trying to steady it. So then, if you weren't the one who left that note, my eyes narrowed against the dark highway rushing toward me. Who did? Riya, that should be the least of your worries right now. I know, I whispered, biting back the panic clawing its way up my throat. So, where do I meet you? A pause, just a thick and heavy static. Come to the. The rest was obliterated. A violent metallic screech ripped through my ears and it made me wince so hard my eyes shut for half a heartbeat. My teeth clamped down until pain shot through my jaw, and I bit my lip raw, tasting coppery and hot blood on my tongue. Instinctively, I unlatched the buckle beneath my chin with one shaking hand, ripping the helmet strap loose. The air slammed against my face as I flung the helmet aside, gasping, blinking against the sting in my eyes. The bike swerved. My other hand flew to the opposite handlebar, jerking it hard to steady the wobbling beast. My pulse was a hammer against my ribs as I was about to speed my way past a T-junction on a red traffic light. I turned harder on the throttle, hoping to shoot through. And then the night exploded. A blinding white light flooded my vision from the right, so bright it seared through my skull with a deafening and bellowing horn. It was close. Too close. My eyes went wide and everything turned white and soundless for a heartbeat,